kind of start to feel like I would never want to go back to Smash. Probably like like competitively anymore. Like I've done my parts in from Smash 4 to Ultimates up until like I remember the last tournament I went to was Get on My Level 2019, right before the pandemic started. I used to main now I have like an aggressive behavior, but I would main Sonic. And then my secondaries would be Sora, Ganon, K. Rool, and Banjo. So pretty much all the characters that were highly anticipated and requested for Smash, but are all garbage. Even Simon Belmont. I was excited for him too. I could have swore I had another one. I wanted to try out Wario as well. But I've done my parts in that career and I've never won a single match in my career. So I think I'm starting to transition into a competitive scene of Pokemon VGC if I ever get to practice. Because I have been going through some like locals here in downtown, and I've always get so like fascinated about like studying like how much detail there is into each Pokemon. The other Scions have already arrived. May I show you in? Yes, sir. I've always been like fascinated with competitive Pokemon. Overwatch? Hell no. Not anymore.
Scions of the Seventh Dawn, on behalf of the people of Gridania, I bid you welcome. Your presence is of great comfort to us all in these days of uncertainty. I summoned you here to share tidings of a most urgent nature. But a short while ago, the great elemental spoke, and his voice was clarion in its intensity. Ramuh is returned unto the forest. Scarce had his words ceased to echo in mine ears when we were visited by an emissary from Little Solace. Our guest informs us that the Sylphs too have sensed the presence of the Lord of Levin. Though his exact whereabouts remain unknown, we may safely assume that the Primal was summoned within the heart of the Sylphlands. Unlike the other Primals you have encountered, Lord Ramuh is no raging avatar of destruction. He is revered as much for his wisdom as his strength, serving as both arbiter and guardian to his children. Given that we and the Sylphs found a way to share the Twelves Wood, it is my hope that this sagely immortal will be amenable to reason, and that conflict may be avoided. Blessed as you are with the power of the Echo, you are one of the few among us who may commune with a Primal without fear of influence. I would ask, therefore, that you represent us in this most delicate of negotiations. The Twelves Wood has suffered enough. Upon this, we and the Sylphs, and I would venture Lord Ramuh himself, are in perfect accord. Let us not endanger our shared home by engaging in unnecessary hostilities. Dear friend, I beseech you, safeguard the peace which exists between our peoples. You have my thanks. Pray make for little solace, then. A member of the Order of the Twin Adder awaits you there. He will advise you on how to find the Lord of Levin. An ill wind blows through the forest. Yet, it is not only the Twelveswood that flinches at its coming. All the lands Veorzia shiver in dread anticipation. Have care.
There be a storm coming. Yeah, I could have swore there was another character that I used to like secondary main. Most of my time in Smash 4 was unironically like Luigi and Yoshi. And then it went to Sonic. Right, so we have to go to the Little Solace. We have to go to the people of speaking in third person. And also what I've been seeing for the past few months about any like bad things that have been happening in the scene, then I sure as hell do not want to go back anymore. That's another reason why. That and my skill issue. Brag onto the Scions. I was told to expect you. I understand you go to treat with the Primal Ramu himself, an unenviable task, but one for which I had no doubt you were well suited. I have been told that your fellow Scions are conducting an investigation of the area as we speak, that we might ascertain the location where the Lord of Levin might be found. I would ask that you abide here until they return with their findings. Alright then. I forgot how, like, visually messed up the shadows are in this game. I keep forgetting about that. Levin and Impression. I was told that a messenger would be sent as soon as your fellow Scions finished their investigation. I do not imagine it would be much longer. This one returns, and returns with good tidings. Wise ones have finished searching and have wisely identified the precise location where the touched ones summoned Lord Ramu. Your timing is impeccable, my fluttery friend. Might you be so kind as to escort this good man to his fellow Scions? It would be this one's pleasure, Walking One. Please come with this one. Yep, I kind of figured it would be deep in that forest. So I know where that should be. Yeah, I can just like fly over there. Wise ones have ventured deep within the Sylphlands. These ones must proceed carefully and keep an eye out for touched ones. This one is most sorry, but this one can go no further. Draw too close to Lord Ramu, and this one may turn mean and nasty like touched ones. And so this one may say farewell for now. Walking One will find wise ones not far from here, to the south. Go in safety, Walking One. So, it's actually you. I am relieved. For a moment, I thought we were dealing with another one of those confounded sylph tricksters. I swear, with them wreaking havoc with their skin-changing magics, it's a wonder I was able to finish taking my measurements. Yes, it was quite the ordeal. You should have seen the look of Ishtala's face when the ones impersonating you suddenly showed up. That's quite enough, Papalimo. My apologies. It's not like me to ramble so. At any rate, as I was saying, I have finished measuring aetheric activity in the area, and I'm pleased to say I have reached an indisputable conclusion. To wit, that Ramu was called forth in the vicinity of the Sylph's Aetheryte. Come, Bregarn, the Lord of Levin awaits. Okay. I'm pretty sure I can see in this path. Yeah, it's not so tough in here anymore after all those, like, ring upgrades. I thought I was having a hard time last time. Oh, here it is.
Tynora betrays thee, servant of hiding.
Now, who does that sound like?
Thou art the bringer of light, bane of Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, and Leviathan. I am Ramu, guardian of the children of the forest. Thou tramplest upon sacred soil, bringer of light. By what right doth man intrude in this sanctuary of the sylphs? The Gridanians proffer peace? Their words are born of delusion, thine offer an insult. Thou speakest of harmony, yet carest naught for my children's desires. They did but wish to dwell beneath these boughs in solitude. Yet even that was too much to ask of man. Thus did they turn to me for succor. The sentence I pronounce upon thy kind is just. Redanian or Garlean, it matters not. The good intent of one excuseth not the misdeeds of the other. Thy conflict hath brought naught but anguish and misery unto the forest. All blame doth lie with the darkness that resideth in the breast of man. Whence sprung this calamitous seed? In the beginning no such duality existed. Were light and dark given form when man was born? It would explain much. Not least why strife and sorrow follow ever in thy wake. Thou canst not deny the urgings of thine own nature. Knowing that thy mere presence here portendeth tragedy, wilt thou persist in this pretense of peacemaking? Thou bearest the crystal which I bestowed upon my wayward charges, that they should entrust so precious a gift to thee. Thou standest apart from thy kin. Thou art the bringer of light, aye. But there is something more in thee. Very well. I shall consider thy proposal, shouldst thou survive my trial. If thou wouldst champion the cause of harmony, I must have proof that thou art fit to play the role. Wither mine ire, and prove to me thereby that thou hast strength enough to stay the darkness which threateneth to consume thee. Yet if thou shouldst be found wanting, Know that all men shall perish in the storm of my judgment. Come to me, bringer of light. I shall await thee on the field of battle.
Urianger, it is rare indeed to find you so far from a tome.
The Lord of Levin himself. Never till this day had I looked upon his visage, save in painted renderings made faint by time. Ever shall this scene remain etched in my mind's eye. Beg pardon, my lady. I must beg thine aid on a point of research. If thou art resolved to face Lord Ramuh, I would ask thy leave to observe the event.
Well, I was looking. Okay. The striking tree is now accessible. Now I'm not sure if the fuck off. I'm not even sure if we could be available for a group to take on this. The striking tree. After forging deep into the Sylphlands, you meet with the intimidating guardian deity of the Sylphs, the primal Ramuh. But before he will consider your proposal of peace, the Lord of Levin first demands proof that you possess the strength required to repel the Empire from the Twelveswood, the thunderous entity that vanishes in the blinding flash, leaving the words of his challenge yet echoing in your ears. Enter the Primal's domain and prepare for the measured on the scales of the battle. Why are they spawning next to this Aetheryte crystal? I don't understand. Someone made this beautiful piece of art over on Procreate. Doing this stained glass, like... Oh. Doing this stained glass template for like a picture, and it looks beautiful. Oh boy. I'm in for a shocking terror. Here we go. Ramuh. Alright, here we go. Thou art brave, warrior of light. Okay. Just gotta know the area of effects and we're good. Oh. Alright, we're good. Just gotta know the area of effects and we're gold. Oh, I'm stunned. Okay, we're good. Prove thy words are more than empty banter. Oh, okay. I can kind of, oh my god. I can kind of see the area of effects through the lightning bolts. That's impressive. I was gonna say, we're not taking any damage from him. Okay. I was wondering why we couldn't do any damage to him. Oh god. Okay, now we're doing it. Okay, okay, okay. Oh yeah, I can kind of see it. Jesus. Is someone like attached? Oh god, they are. Okay. Nope. I think I need to heal myself. Okay. Whoa. No. Nah, he's pretty much dead. There we go. Woo! We did it. That was actually pretty easy. Not gonna lie. I actually knew what was going on in the battlefield, because the area of effects were different. Victory, Screech! No Screech. Did I even get, like... Oh, I did. 75 Allegan Tomestones of Poetics. Cool. That was actually not bad, like... Or, that was actually not hard, to be honest. That was actually smart. There was actually, like, 2 people that were, like, tied by, like, a lightning bolt.
Measure, bringer of light. And I judge thee a worthy champion. The task of excising the sin that hath taken root in man's heart is thine. Shrink not from employing thy strength in service to the forest and the wider realm beyond. Like hungering shadows do the enemies of harmony gather, and meekness will but feed them. If man is to be delivered from the dark, it shall be by thy guiding light alone. Stray not from the path, for if thou dost, thy people shall be truly lost.
Thou hast slain the Lord of Levin. A regrettable act, but a necessary one. In witnessing thy struggle, a truth hath been revealed unto me. If I mistake not, it may yet prove a chink in the eternal armor of the Ascians. But let us conclude our present business. I shall expound upon my findings at the Rising Stones anon.
I think that fight was over in like, what, 2 minutes? They did all that they did all that work for just for it to be defeated in like 2 or 3 minutes. Brygarn, you have returned. Dare I ask how Ramu received your visit? He challenged you to a test of arms. It is well, then, that you have some experience in such matters. The peoples of both Gridania and Little Solus will be relieved to hear that the Lord of Leven has accepted you as the forest champion of peace. You have performed a monumental duty this day, Brygarn. The Elder Seedseer must be informed of your deeds at once. I'm sure she'll get a... I'm sure, like, someone else can tell her, not me. What little gods are made of. The Elder Seedseer will wish to hear of your experiences firsthand. Pray return to Gridania and make directly for the Lotus Stand. Alright.
You are returned to us, dear friend, and none the worse for bearing the heavy burden which I did press upon you. Most glad am I of this. I am informed that your efforts to negotiate a peace with Lord Ramu ended in conflict. Pray tell me, what befell? Ramu made trial of you? I fear there is truth to his claim. It is the darkness within us that attracts the darkness without. It cannot be denied that misfortune follows man. For evidence, one need only look to the conflict brewing in Cartano, or to the rising flood of refugees. Our shared struggle against the Empire should have served to seal our union. Yet the ties which bind the Alliance strain under the weight of gross self-interest. As the scars of the calamity begin to fade, so too does our sense of common purpose. Yet now is scarce the time to forget our shared responsibility. If this new-sprung realm is to survive beyond its infancy, it must needs be nurtured by all. Eorzea must be as one. Yet I fear that dream is still far off. On behalf of the people of Gridania and the elementals both, I thank you for all that you and your fellow scions have done. Full oft have I been compelled to look to you for aid of late, and offered all too little in return. As leader of this nation, I shall endeavor to prove a more worthy ally to your cause henceforth. Lord Ramu has departed, yet the keening of this ill wind grows no less insistent. Voices of the forest, pray speak and I shall listen. What unseen evil begets this unease in my heart?
The old bearded man is gone, but at what cost? I just think of the Wario picture. At what cost? Thus ends another daunting mission, eh, Bragon? I'd hoped Lord Ramu could be persuaded with words alone, but nonetheless, I can only admire the adroitness with which you responded to the Primal's sudden challenge. And it seems that Urianger too was pleased with the outcome. What say you, Bragon? Shall we gather back at the Rising Stones and ponder the lessons of the day? Do we... Yep, we go back to the bar again. I think only this time, like, I don't have... Can I even use those letters? That would take me to Vesper Bay, though. What used to be the Waking Sands. Welcome back, Bragon. Word of your momentous encounter with Lord Ramu precedes you. I would fain share news of mine own, but Urianger's discoveries must take precedence. Upon witnessing your defeat of the Lord of Levin, our learned companion was struck with a profound insight regarding the nature of the Ascian's immortality. Let us assemble and discuss his observations together. Okay.
If everyone is ready, let us begin. Urianger, the floor is yours.
As all here assembled now know, in its final hours as our Order's headquarters, the Waking Sands did play host to a most unexpected visitor. I speak of the Ascian clad in white, Elidibus. Unwelcome though his presence was, his words that day did serve to confirm a truth long suspected, that the Ascians are eternal beings, to whom physical destruction is as a temporary inconvenience.
In the intervening time, Urianger and I have striven to discover a means by which the Ascians might more permanently be slain.
And 'tis my belief that we have found the thread that will allow us to unravel the twisted skein of their existence. In the moments prior to Leviathan's most recent manifestation, the Sahagin elder who summoned him was observed to undergo some manner of ascension. The etheric readings taken by Y'shtola at the time of this transfiguration have proven most enlightening.
The disruption to the flow of ether was sudden and dramatic. So tangible was the agitation, I scarce had need of my goggles.
The significance of Y'shtola's readings might better be understood in the context of mine own, taken at the instant of the Lord of Levin's demise. Unlike the Primal, the Sahagin was not subject to etheric dissipation.
Before discussing our new discoveries, it may benefit us all to recall what we know of etheric behavior. Let us begin at what some might call the end. When we who dwell in the material realm die, our spirits dissolve into the flow of ether and are returned to the ethereal realm. In turn, the restless energy which suffuses that plane streams back into our world, giving rise to new life.
'Tis as the heavens did decree, the way of all mortal souls. Twixt this world and the next do the ethereal currents swirl, bearing the very essence of life. Thus doth the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth continue unabated.
Primals behave somewhat differently. In order to manifest and then maintain a physical presence in this realm, they must consume vast quantities of ether, most often in the form of crystals. Though they may seem to live, their flesh is but ether given shape. Thus, a defeated primal leaves behind no broken corpse. Rather, the essence of its form seeps back into the land whence it came, and the energy of its shattered spirit is called back to the ethereal realm.
And there it waiteth, till next the prayers of the faithful do draw it forth from the sea of ether, to take their offering of crystals and make for itself a new body.
Which brings us on to the third group, the so-called immortals. They exist in a manner all their own.
Quite. Even as the Sahagin Elder fell to the Admiral's musket shot, I witnessed the release of an ethereal cloud, which immediately took possession of a nearby minion.
A soul that dissipateth not upon the death of the flesh.
The secret of life everlasting, and in the claws of a Sahagin no less. But I wonder, what would happen to one of these obstinate spirits should there be no suitable host for it to claim?
If mortal death entails a return to the ethereal realm, it seems doubtful that the soul of an immortal would venture there.
Nay, it merely withdraweth a distance, unto the shore of the ethereal sea, perchance, but no further.
Yes, it exists in neither this realm nor the next, abiding instead in the space that lies between them. The Ascians took control of Thancred by means of a crystal of darkness, an artifact which, if our theories are correct, serves as a gateway to the place I have just described.
I was hoping people had forgotten about that.
I am sorry, my friend.
For a mercy, the weary road of our research hath brought us unto an answer.
The Sahagin ascended to an immortal state, but he did not possess a crystal of darkness through which to flee this realm. Thus was he consumed by Leviathan. If we could entrap the spirits of defeated Ascians in like manner, and thereby deny them resurrection,
Therein lieth the path to victory. Thou art most perceptive, my lady. Only when we have trapped the bodiless soul within an ethereal prison can we hope to defeat its unnatural constancy. Thus might even an eternal paragon be consigned to oblivion.
These feats are, of course, far easier said than done. At present, we lack a viable means to entrap and extinguish an Ascian soul. Yet, I believe it to be possible. The pieces of the puzzle lie before us. We have but to put them together.
I will depart at once to convene with the sages of Sharlayan. Together shall we divine the steps by which our goals may be achieved.
I have the utmost faith in you, Archon.
Beg pardon, antecedent, but I would raise one final matter. Even now, a Sharlayan survey party seeketh to ascertain the fate of the students of Baldessian. Their findings shall soon be known to us. Though you harbor feelings of dread, I bid you surrender not to sorrow, but abide instead in hopeful prayer.
I shall, Archon. Thank you.
This must be the Organization 13's room. The Lord of Levin is returned to the Aether, as was Leviathan before him. Ramuh's acquiescence was most intriguing. Inferno, Vortex, Crag, Whirl, and Levin all have now been humbled by the Bringer of Light. The limitless potential of man, Hydaelyn's servant, grows mightier by the day. Yet he prospers a great cost to his mistress, whose strength is all too finite. 7 times have the masses survived the rejoining, but their souls are grown weak and wan. Yet even as it innervates, the ardor empowers our master. All that remains is to nurture the strength of the gifted, to forge the final key. The Keyblade. And that is the task to which we bend our every effort. Divine seeds wherever won't be to quicken in Eorzea's fertile soul. We need only lead men to the field, and by their eager hands shall a new deity arise. That which was shattered shall be made anew, and the one true God shall come again. This really does feel like the Organization 13's room, except there's no high chairs. Just allow these people to sit, why don't you? Give them a seat. Guardian of Eorzea. Ooh. I could get some 4th level materia here. Now the matter of Ramuh has, for the present, been put to rest. There is something I would show you, Brygarn. It is a letter of thanks, signed by the leaders of the Eorzean Alliance, acknowledging the Scion's tireless service to the realm. It mentions in particular the names of all the defeated primals: Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, Good King Mogulmog XII, Leviathan, and now Ramuh. Needless to say, there is only one among our number to have faced them all. And though these words of gratitude were addressed to our order as a whole, I feel that they were meant for you above all others. I too must offer my heartfelt thanks for all that you've done. In the course of your duties, you have never once failed to answer my call to arms. You are a true hero, Brygarn, and Eorzea is that much safer for your presence. Pray do not misunderstand me. I said safer, not safe. I know only too well that we can ill afford to lower our guard. The Ascians may be relied upon to sow chaos in this realm, until such time as they are forced to stop. Why, even without their encouragement, you may be assured that man would foment strife on his own. And that is to say nothing of the beast tribes. Unless we learn to live in harmony, the primals too will learn to plague us again and again and again and again. And yet, despite all this, your deeds serve to inspire the people, to give them hope for a better tomorrow. And there is no greater gift. that we have the courage to strive for what might otherwise seem an impossible peace. We owe in no small part to the dangers you have faced on our behalf, and the people you have won over to our cause in so doing. Our list of enemies have ever been long, but think of the allies with whom we are now blessed. Of the sylphs of Little Solist, who wish not of conflict. Of the Alamegans and the Domas, or the Domans who stand with us, determined to halt the dread march of the Empire. And then there are many unsung individuals who have gathered here in Revenant's Toll, honest men and women who seek to employ their skills for the good of all. Of course, when speaking of our greatest allies, we must not forget those who closest to us, by which I mean our fellow scions. Thanks to their many and varied talents, our order is uniquely equipped to combat the far-reaching corruption of the Asians, and combat it we shall. Your enthusiasm is truly heartwarming, Antecedent. Given our embarrassing wealth of allies, I trust it will not inconvenience you unduly if I absent myself for a time. Alfino, I take it the troubles in Ul'dah no longer require your attention. There are yet some rumblings of discontent, but the air of simmering violence is largely dissipated. 'Tis to reports such that I stand before you now. That, and to speak with you concerning the new organization we discussed. I have a message for you and Ellie. Ahem. You recall the refugee girl, the one whose parents were missing. They were found unharmed. She wished me to pass on her thanks to you. Well, that's a relief. Why, Alfino, I am to understand that you made the effort to remember the poor girl's name. I look forward to reading all about her in your report. I do hope you left nothing out. He caught quite a scare. Brygarn, you have been away from Revenant's Toll for some time now, I believe. Might I suggest you put the affairs to the realm to one side for a moment and take this opportunity to reacquaint yourself with the town? Which reminds me, one of the Doman children recently inquired as to your whereabouts. Yozan was his name. I believe he has some small matter he wishes to share with you. Why not oblige him with a visit? Alright, I guess I'll take some time off. Look, it's Mr. Brygarn. He's back from his adventures. We heard you were off fighting primals, and that they're some of the strongest enemies you could ever face. I wish I could have seen you in battle. Anyway, we all want to be heroes too, so we finally formed our very own Doman Adventurers Guild to protect all the Domans. Oh, do you think you could train us someday, Mr. Brygarn? Maybe you could show us how you fight the primals. What's all this commotion, then? Mr. Boulder and Mr. Coltenant, did you know that Mr. Brygarn is back? So it would seem. Welcome home, Brygarn. My companion and I but recently became full members of the Scions, and I believe proper introductions have yet to be made. I am known as Hoary Boulder, and this bookish fellow is Coltenant, though we remain largely unproven as adventurers. We have taken it upon ourselves to instruct the Doman younglings in the arts of combat. Ugh, I told you, Mr. Boulder, we're not younglings anymore. We're adventurers. And we were just asking Mr. Brygarn if he could give us some special training. I think we're ready to hunt monsters alongside him, don't you? Well, you've certainly been diligent with your drills, but I'm afraid the fiends of Mordona are still ever so slightly dangerous for you. I have a counter-proposal. What if I were to cross swords with you, Brygarn? A demonstration of skills at arms, if you will. Hori, if I didn't know you better, and I do, I'd say you were merely seeking to test yourself against a legend. Well, mayhaps I am, but what matters is the motive when the children stand to learn so much from the lesson. What say you, Brygarn? Would you consent to spar with me? Hurrah! We're to have a tournament. Come on, everyone, we must prepare our gear for an outing. I fear something big or something dangerous is gonna happen. Do try not to disappoint them, Have faith, Cold Tenet. I shall summon every last ounce of my strength to make this a worthy contest. The fields to the east of town should prove a suitable for our purpose. I very much look forward to our bout. And so shall I. Yeah, I guess this is supposed to be my break in-game. Let's see. Yeah, it's just outside Revenant's Toll. Here we are. 'Twas good of you to agree to this, Brygarn. I trust you are ready to begin? Alright, sure. Let's see how guardian I truly am. Very well. Let us not keep the younglings waiting any longer. Ahem, Hori, are you certain you wish to fight him alone? That is Brygarn you face. What better way to test my mettle? Pray allow me to attempt the first round unaided. After all, 'twas this hero's legend that led me to join the Scions to begin with. Without Brygarn to inspire my efforts, I would not be half the warrior I am today. Your point is well made, but remember, this is for the children's sake as well as your own. Should it appear the contest will end too swiftly, I shall add my spells to your blade work. Hello, you haven't begun yet, have you? Oh. Ida? Ida? What? Who are all these people? When I heard about your sparring match, I told everyone I could find. Thought you could use a crowd to cheer you on. Yes, and there are still more to come. When I mentioned Brygarn's name, the reaction was quite enthusiastic. Why, my own popularity seems but a sickly shade in comparison. You'd best claim victory, Bringer of Light. Your burgeoning reputation is at stake. Well, our teacher won't be beaten so easily. He's a master swordsman. You can win, Mr. Boulder. So he's a gladiator class, probably. We shall soon see. On your guard. Alright, you asked for it. Day and night I've honed my skills. Now comes the time to test them. Oh well. The tails barely do you justice. Mr. Boulder won't lose, will he? It's not over yet. It can't be. The children have the right of it. 'Tis time I joined the fray. On your feet. Hang on a minute. That's cheating. Must admit defeat. 'Twas an honor and a privilege. Alright, we got it. Oh, he looks hurt. MisterBriGuy is so strong, but you can't give up, Mr. Boulder. Can't disappoint the younglings. Rah! Oh wait, I'm not doing damage to him. Wait a minute. Oh wait, now I am. Yeah, what was that about? I guess we had to wait until the dialogue ended. I was like, this is way too easy. You have bested me. I yield. Yeah, that was incredible. He beat them both at the same time. We knew you couldn't lose, Brigarn. None can defeat the Guardian of Eorzea. Now I see why they send you to deal with the primals. I've much work to do if I am ever to attempt the same. Impressive as always, Brigarn. 'Tis ever a pleasure to witness the spectacle of your martial prowess. And judging by the smiles on these many faces, they too appreciate the hard-won strength that keeps the perils of the realm at bay. Guardian of Eorzea. Yes, that is a most fitting title. Do you recall when we first met? 'Twas at the memorial service for the Battle of Cartano. At the time, I was yet attempting to understand this land of Eorzea. I sought to grasp the reason why Grandfather willingly sacrificed himself to protect it. I shall speak plainly. My initial impressions were less than favorable. Dire problems abounded, and yet the effort I sought expended towards their solution was haphazard and half-hearted. I thought Eorzeans a foolish and childish people. Considering the shambles their home was in, I would not have been surprised if some had chosen to swear allegiance to Gaius and the order he proposed to enforce. The legatus' single-minded military invasion precluded any such switching of loyalties, of course. Were it not for the desire to continue Grandfather's legacy, I would have abandoned the realm to his fate long ago. The threats were too many, the nations too self-involved and unstable. 'Twas you who convinced me the salvation of Eorzea was possible. 'Twas you who taught me, through countless acts of bravery, that what my grandsire sought to preserve was not the land, nor its history, nor any single nation. It was the people, these wonderful, oft infuriating, stubborn people, that suffer blow after terrible blow, only to drag themselves back to their feet to face another day. Though he never put such feelings into words, I believe grandfather's admiration for this inextinguishable courage grew into a fervent wish. An educational wish. A wish to aid Eorzea and its inhabitants in charting a course for the future. A wish that has now become my own. I too will endeavor to take up the mantle of Guardian of Eorzea and champion these people who toil towards a better world. Our cause, however, is not a simple one. The troubles that plague us are a scale that cannot be solved by the scions of the Seventh Dawn alone. No. What is needed to tackle the roots of the primal threat and effectively counter the schemes of the Ascians is a newly expanded organization that operates beyond the limitations of nations and borders. If you would aid me in building such an organization, then pray let us continue the discussion back within the walls of the Rising Stones. that one shot of my horns just covering his face. I guess that must mean, like, if we're to take on the Ascians ourselves, like, we need a much bigger team than what we went with. Yeah. The people of Eorzea, not a band of misfits, but are bringers of hope. And you shall quote me on that.